Hi, I'm Sarah Kalman with City TV. Welcome to this edition of Inside Santa Barbara, the city's only news magazine show. We bring you up to date on the city's most significant issues, projects, and events. In our last episode, we continued the homelessness video series by exploring the neighborhood navigation centers. And now we show you how we're tackling the homelessness crisis with a new collaborative focus.
Santa Barbara is not immune to the humanitarian crisis of homelessness. Most recently, the 2020 point-in-time count identified 914 homeless individuals on the streets in Santa Barbara. Past efforts have not always been successful, but now an organization called SB ACT has helped to develop a more collaborative focus to address the issue.
The Santa Barbara Alliance for Community Transformation organization formed many years ago. The main focus is work and collaboration with our marginalized populations. But the premise of our approach is collective impact. So it is a research-based and evidence-based approach to effective coordination and collaboration to address complex social systems and issues.
SB ACT saw the need for building collaboration and collective action among service providers in regards to the homeless crisis in Santa Barbara.
Most families or individuals experiencing homelessness, they might have 8 or 10 agencies working with them. So if we're not all working together and on the same page, we're either duplicating or people are falling through gaps.
SB ACT was developed to be the glue that would help all the different agencies work together for the same goal: housing individuals and providing supportive services.
Our mission statement is we exist to equip the community to lovingly engage marginalized people. And what that really comes down to in the city is working with not only nonprofits and businesses, but government agencies, faith communities, anyone that really wants to get involved around a social issue. We gather them, and rather than them working in silos or working on certain projects, we say, what is the big picture and how do we all work together, streamline our resources, and really solve the issue that's at hand.
Through streamlining resources, they have been able to make impressive headway, not only through collaborating, but through listening. Listening to agencies, the Santa Barbara community, and also those who are experiencing homelessness to move towards solutions.
Homelessness feels like something we can solve. We have 1,900 individuals countywide that are experiencing homelessness. We have 914 individuals in our city experiencing homelessness. It feels like a number we should be able to tackle. And I think everyone dives in with that perception. But not only are the underpinnings of what cause homelessness many and diverse, from low wages, lack of affordable housing, mental health issues, substance abuse issues, but also the system in which we have to work in is also as complex. So where the funding's coming from at all levels, federal, state, local communities, how much the local jurisdiction or the city should be invested and involved in, and staffing capacity alone at all of those levels is limited. So I think as we prioritize homelessness as a crisis now, it's really helpful for us to have that level of focus and spotlight on it. And it's allowing people to be more motivated and more steadfast in their engagement. But again, we're still dealing with the complexity of the system.
SB ACT stepped back and looked at all the angles of the situation in order to figure out what needed to be done, and what, if any, crucial details were being ignored. In addition to the already difficult challenges being faced, the COVID-19 pandemic also threw another curveball at this situation.
When COVID hit, a lot of people on the streets set up encampments wherever they could. There was a lot of tent cities that kind of popped up, and not only was that creating an eyesore on the community, but people were living in uninhabitable places. And so what we did is work with outreach agencies like CityNet, also worked with a lot of our other service providers and partners to not only case manage those individuals, but work with the county and Project Roomkey to get those individuals into hotel rooms so that they actually have a shot during this pandemic to not only their health, but start moving through the system. And all of those people were either reunified with their family or moved into a hotel. So it was a win-win-win on every level, and it allowed us to say, look, this is what happens when you work together. Like, everyone kind of ends up with what is not only good and compassionate for people, but what is good for our society as a whole.
Working with agencies and service providers, they were able to overcome these struggles by case managing and building relationships with these individuals. SB Act has learned that case management is key in the process of helping clients move forward.
We have a 3-year kind of common agenda plan to increase our outreach, our housing retention, our housing units. So ultimately it's bringing that number down. So we have a plan right now to help 100 people exit homelessness through all of our regional work. So we have to drop the number, and then we have to help people that are traveling through here get reunified with families or friends early. This thing only kind of works because there's literally 28 partners connected to this neighborhood navigation center. So I really want to give a shout out to all those partners, because this doesn't work if we aren't all working together.
Now that working together closely is a part of the effort, SB Act and their partners are working to create localized regional action plans, which address the specific needs of specific areas and people of the city.
Early on in our collaborative work with the City of Santa Barbara, we developed a State Street Regional Action Plan. And the coordination of that group, utilizing more the ambassadors, which is another critical program the city has invested in, that really have we know what's in our neighborhood, who's there, who's in need. They have that touch base, they give water out, making sure that people feel acknowledged and they feel supported. And when that person's ready, we've now created the links to make sure that they have someone following up that will provide outreach and that will provide case management if they're open to it.
The Regional Action Plan caters to clients on a very individualized level. The outreach teams talk to everyone on the streets to determine what they need. It might be food, mental health services, a shower, clothing, or medical attention.
So Doctors Without Walls is super proud to stand with SB Act. Their regional action plans recognize that homelessness looks different in every neighborhood, and then each neighborhood needs a unique answer to their homelessness.
Homeless clients are being built into through one-on-one interactions, establishing a sense of accountability as well as an understanding of each individual case and neighborhood. The partnership with the City of Santa Barbara has been an important factor in establishing these goals.
They really have reached out to our community. They've helped the city enormously on focusing in on homeless impacts in certain areas within the city. They've created regional action plans, and they've helped the city to develop our strategy for moving forward for the next 3 years. Has been an outstanding partner, and it's very exciting to even just be in these meetings with our community.
Part of the city's involvement, in addition to their partnership with SB Act, is to organize neighborhood cleanups that enhance public safety and their participation by developing funding sources.
I would like the community to know is also the level of commitment and investment that the city is already putting into trying to manage homelessness. Last year, we spent over $4 million collectively across the city, across those 7 different departments. That's fire and police and parks and creeks and environmental services and our streets division in trying to just address and manage the homeless situation here in the city.
Many of those involved in the homeless issues in Santa Barbara have a really important quality that is crucial to their success: awareness of this crisis from multiple perspectives. Not only do they acknowledge different perspectives, but value them as well.
I think in the long term, it's this dynamic of we're all in it together. And we know that as nonprofit service providers, we have one perspective and one view. Business owners have another perspective. Government officials have another perspective. That, in the end, is going to create a much more comprehensive solution than if just one sector is working on the objective at hand.
While those working on the issue are aware of the challenges of solving the crisis, building awareness of the issue is a constant battle.
The city often gets a lot of the complaints from residents and civilians that say, hey, this is an issue. And often what we hear is, why isn't the city doing something about it? And what's interesting is that there's actually city staff. There's a whole priority system of what the city is actually engaging in these issues on. It's just that the public is not really made aware of that. That's why something like this is so important, is that not only do we get to explain, hey, the city is not only actively aware of these things, but they're engaging with them, but we also get to inform the people that lead us of all the nuance and complexity of these issues, so that they're really well versed on it, so that they can make budgeting decisions and funding decisions on that kind of government level that we need. I think one of the things that we really made an effort to do when we started SB Act is develop really good relationships with city council members and the county board of supervisors, and kind of be that in-between person saying, hey, we respect your position of authority. We want you to be informed on these issues, and let us help you not only understand the system and the complexities of the problem, but what is being done in ways that you can be an advocate for the cause.
More education about homelessness will hopefully result in more people helping to solve the problem. It will take compassion as well as energy.
Service-resistant individuals are there, but a lot of individuals are resistant to services because of the trauma that they've experienced, either personally or through the system that has let them down. So it does take a lot of engagement, and sometimes it takes that particular opportunity where the person is traumatized again by experiencing homelessness, and that actually leads them to being open to help.
SB Act's efforts try to prevent the cracks in the system that often unintentionally contribute to more trauma experienced by individuals seeking help. Through collaboration, education, and awareness, there is true potential for substantial change.
Our commitment is to reduce the impacts of homelessness in 3 years in a visible and measurable way. And we can do that incrementally over time. So if we can't accomplish something visible as a win in a week, the next week we have a win. We have someone who is housed. We have someone connected to services. This is what keeps us going. This is not a time that we can be on the sidelines. It's time to get in the game and do whatever you feel you can do, because it really is going to take every single one of us to solve homelessness in a way that we create a community that's vibrant, that's safe, that supports one another, and that if anyone is ever in dire need, we're actually able to step in to help them.
In our next segment in the homelessness video series, we take you inside a day in the life of CityNet. Up next, see how the Public Works street paving crew is saving the city time, money, and creating efficiency.
I love it that this is my office. The whole city is my office. I love it.
Coming here to work is just amazing. And all the guys, they're pretty cool guys, you know?
The paving program is where the crew performs production paving work and deep lift repairs in the public right-of-way. They're performing a lot of different types of repairs. They do essentially what the contractors do when we perform our pavement maintenance program. There's a huge advantage to us to move from activities that are low-value activities that we can have contractors take care of for us, and develop this crew that's able to perform full paving services for the city.
So with contractors, you get a higher cost per square foot. So right now our goal is to get the lowest cost per square foot possible. So if that means paving an extra road every day on top of the road we're paving, that's saving the city money, and that money you're saving is adding to more roads that could be paved. So that's what we're kind of looking for when we're paving, is where can we cut some costs to add another road in, to do more repairs, because that's ultimately what the residents are looking for, and that's what we're here to do. By maintaining the city's infrastructure, we prioritize a lot of the maintenance plans and the repairs by listening to the community and their concerns and what they want. Because if they're running through a pothole every day, that's a concern we need to be, fixing.
So a lot of times we have people that'll come out and they'll be like, "Oh, thank you very much for doing the job." They're really grateful.
They'll call and they'll ask questions about specific times we're going to be paving and stuff like that.
They share concerns with us that they may have, and we want to help them. So when they come and give us a concern that they're having on the street or around the corner, those are areas that we're able to address while we're there because we're so customer oriented with the residents.
Throughout the year we get a lot of safety training, and then here and there we'll get asphalt training as well.
All the training we do here is a lot of operator training, a lot of training how to use the different equipment we have. We got a new paver. We do a lot of training in that, how to use the grading and sloping on the paver. A lot of backhoe training, roller training, pretty much anything you can think of what a job consists of.
I started as a hourly. I moved up I got hired on full time, and now I'm the crew lead.
And I'm still in training right now. I'm still learning day by day how it goes, everything in situations.
Most of it's just been hands-on training, which is nice because I get to actually run the machine and learn how it works.
I started off as an hourly doing asphalt work, and then I got moved to the concrete crew, and I've worked there for a long time doing sidewalk removal and all that. After 6 years of working there, I became the senior maintenance worker. 3 years after that, I became the crew leader for the concrete crew. And I've been doing the crew leader for 20 years until this coordinator position opened up, and I went for that coordinator position.
If you're willing to show you're here to work and put in your effort, there's a lot of opportunities to advance here in the City Streets Department.
So whenever we advertise for new streets positions, we advertise locally. And most of our staff graduated from local Santa Barbara schools. And so we're always reaching out to the community, and we're not requiring people to have a lot of experience. I mean, experience is helpful, but we will train them to do this type of work.
I think it's important to hire locals because they're giving back to the community. People that are born and raised here like me, they see the city workers throughout the streets working, and they want to be one of them. I think it's also important because of emergencies, so they can respond quick. Just like the Montecito mudslides, a few of the guys weren't able to make it up here because the freeway was shut down. And if you're local, they can call you and you can respond within half hour.
That's one of the good things about working here. Like, you're responsible, not just for yourself, but for everybody else.
I'm just incredibly proud of the program, but more importantly, I'm proud of the crew. I'm just so happy with our success, and it's all the result of the people that work for the Streets Division.
To learn more about the Public Works Street Paving Crew and what they do, head to our website, santabarbaraca.gov/publicworks. And now a cause for celebration. Why? Because the City of Santa Barbara's Fleet Division is ranked number 5 out of the 100 best fleets in America. We'll show you why. Award-winning, critical to the City of Santa Barbara, and a peak-performing fleet operation. A huge congratulations to the Santa Barbara's Fleet Division for ranking number 5 of the 100 best fleets in the U.S.
The award was a partnership between the 100 best fleets and the National Association of Fleet Administrators, which is the premier fleet organization in the nation. The two of them partnered to recognize top performing fleets throughout the country.
There's roughly 20 to 30,000 fleets throughout the Americas, and we were able to achieve a 5th place ranking, and nobody as a first-time entrant has ever cracked the top 100. So just the fact that we got there, it was a big honor.
A fleet is made up of a variety of vehicles, from tractors to fire engines, and the city's fleet division has proved to improve their level of performance and innovation within the public fleet industry, giving it a top-tier rank.
The city, we have approximately 500 vehicles, and that ranges anywhere from fire trucks to police interceptors. We have a number of administrative vehicles, and we have service trucks that would be used. We have lifeguard vehicles, harbor patrol, airport patrol.
I think the mission of fleet is to try to cost effectively maintain the vehicles and equipment that the city utilizes to do their job in the most cost effective and way that we can maximize the availability of the vehicles, preserve the life cycle of the vehicles, and do it in as transparent a way as possible for our customers.
Through the encouragement of sharing ideas amongst fleet personnel, the operation has been able to achieve some significant successes, including decreasing fuel usage on police cars, improving emergency vehicle visibility, and decreasing turnaround time, just to name a few.
It really reflects on the entire team performing well. It reflects on Sam's leadership in the organization, that he leads the organization well, recognizes technicians' performance, develops the technicians by setting training goals and career goals.
A top-performing team makes all the difference for the Santa Barbara's Fleet Division, and they invest time and resources into each of their staff members.
It's becoming increasingly harder to find qualified technicians. So what we do is we try to find people that have really positive attitudes, that just have a real passion for cars, and then we grow them internally. We had a number of technicians that weren't certified, so we made that a requirement for them to be certified technicians, and through the process of obtaining those certifications, they're gaining a structure, a foundation to build that experience on, and then we teach them internally, and we also send them out to training to grow our own into the technicians they are.
We try to get about 40 hours of training in per year per technician. We have online training available through the auto manufacturers. And then whenever we buy a new piece of equipment, we try to incorporate some level of technical training on that.
A well-deserved congratulations for ranking number 5 in the 100 best fleets in the U.S.
Just something that we're extremely proud of as an organization. I think that recognizes the entire organization for the performance that they've had in the last year or multiple years. And it's really something that we're extremely proud of, and it's really unheard of for a fleet the first time that they enter to get within the top 5. So it really says a lot about Santa Barbara's fleet.
Congratulations to the staff working on the city vehicles. You literally keep this town moving. We'll be right back.
Be the solution to water pollution and stop pollution at its source.
From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach. From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach. From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach.
From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach. From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach. From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach. From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach. From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach. De la gente a la calle, al arroyo, a la playa. De la gente a la calle, al arroyo, a la playa. De la gente a la calle, al arroyo, a la playa. De la gente a la calle, al arroyo, a la playa. From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach. From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach. From the people to the street, to the creeks, to the beach.
We're all the solution to water pollution.
Every year, homes in Santa Barbara County face extreme fire risk. Defensible Space helps separate your home from the wildfire and gives firefighters a safe place to make a stand. It's important to assess your home's particular wildfire risks well before extreme fire weather conditions occur. Defensible Space activities should be completed year-round. Don't wait until it's too late to take the right steps to keep your home safe from wildfire. Go to sbfiresafecouncil.org to learn more and sign up for emergency alerts at awareandprepare.org.
Water wisely. It's simple. Visit waterwisesb.org. Let's save together.
Welcome back. The Public Works Water Resources Division recently purchased a wastewater recycler truck in order to continue its pursuit of the One Water Santa Barbara initiative. Let's find out how this brand new truck is working.
This truck behind me is a wastewater recycling combination truck, and it is used for cleaning the sewer system. This truck is unique in that it's almost like a treatment plant on wheels. It has a filtration system in the tank of the truck that cleans the wastewater as it's being removed from the system as the crews are cleaning the sewer. The filtration process on this truck removes all solids down to about the size of a human hair.
The recycler truck is a high-tech vehicle that is designed to help with wastewater collection, to be more efficient in production, time, and most important, water conservation. Plus, it saves the city money.
The recycle truck helps our team be more efficient by helping us not break away when we're tanking up. For example, if we're working at Caltrans, we have to pull a permit and we're there for a specific amount of time. Our conventional system, we have to go ahead and break away and tank up at a hydrant. The recycle system truck behind me, we go ahead and continue recycling the water, eliminating any breakdowns, and continue the operations.
Staff are able to keep the truck running for a longer period of time because they don't run out of water. As they're cleaning, they're removing the water from the sewer system, filtering it, and then pushing that water back into the system to clean the pipes. The filtration process is also very useful because when the truck is filling up with water, as the staff are removing that water, normally they would have to go stop and drain that water out of the tank, but the filtration process makes it so that water can be cleaned and put back in the system, either through the nozzle or through a drain.
Our regular combo units obtain about 12 to 13 setups per day. This combo unit, especially working with a basin approach, comes back about 15 to 20 locations a day.
The operations of the recycler truck are more complex than a conventional wastewater truck. The recycler requires a week's worth of hands-on training for the crew.
So it takes 2 operators to operate this truck. One will stay here and use a control panel to start cleaning the mains with their nozzles set up. And we have our other operator that would set up our cones for our safety. Once he's done setting up the cones around the truck, he will lead up and go up to the upstream. That way he can receive the nozzle and we can start cleaning the main. We have a basket so we can catch our findings. And once we do run and start cleaning, anything we don't capture on our basket, we can capture with the vacuum. So once we do run our systems and start cleaning, we do capture the water that's coming back. Once we do that, it's recycling throughout the process while we are cleaning the system, and it goes and gets filtered. I got some cyclone filters that does process it, breaks down all the solids. That way we can reuse the water and we don't have to stop and fill up, and you're constantly just cleaning sewer mains and not constantly moving and stopping to refill. So the ways we find out how much water we do have in this truck, we have a side glass here to my left where we monitor it. We also have a control panel on the back where the operator will be monitoring it as well. Once we start knowing that the water level is dropping, that's where the vacuum does come into place.
The recycler does require more maintenance, and it's done at various times to keep the truck running at its best. This ensures that the recycler truck will continue to help with water conservation for years to come.
So this truck does take a little bit more maintenance. We do the dailies. We have weeklies and monthlies on this truck. Our daily procedures will be removing all our debris. We have to remove the water from the front tank, the rear tank, and then remove the debris that we did gather from recycling. We have oil levels we do need to check because we're constantly using our pumps. It's constantly running and recycling water. We need to grease our lines, which are in the rear of this vehicle, because we are constantly using the vacuum, hydraulics. So this requires a little bit more maintenance than a regular combo unit.
The city's One Water effort recognizes that all water has value and that it should be managed in a sustainable, inclusive, and integrated way. When we believe in the equal value of all forms of water, we can fully optimize the entire water cycle. The recycler truck saves both potable drinking water and recycled water by repurposing the water that flows through the sewer mains. The recycler truck is just another step the city is taking to conserve its precious water resources. In our next story, we show you Phase 2 in the Arroyo Burro Open Space Restoration Project. See how the Creeks Division is continuing to improve the area. In 2016, the city of Santa Barbara acquired 14.7 acres of land in the Las Positas Valley along Arroyo Burro. The open space not only offered the potential for recreational opportunities, but it also continues to be a great habitat for native plants and the wildlife that live there, making restoring the area a great opportunity to improve the ecosystem. And in 2018, the Creeks Division began the Arroyo Burro Open Space Restoration Project.
At the Creeks Division, we have a number of restoration projects all across the city that we've completed over time. We, as the planners, act as project managers for the project. We hire engineers to come out and design the project. Then we secure all the necessary permits through the planning process. We've done 4 community outreach meetings as part of this project to get the community involved, get their input, and then we get to do this, which is construction, which is the really exciting part. So we're out at the Arroyo Burro Open Space. This is a 21-acre open space park in the lower portion of the Arroyo Burro watershed. We are working on a second phase of work out here to do some upland restoration as well as trail improvements. We completed our Phase 1 project back in 2018, which focused on restoring Arroyo Burro Creek. So we restored 1,500 linear feet of Arroyo Burro Creek, providing additional floodplain habitat and restoration of riparian vegetation.
The second phase of the Arroyo Burro Restoration Project includes many elements, one being the construction of a brand new bridge that connects the north end of the park to the new Las Positas multi-use pathway.
The bridge itself is a narrow pedestrian bridge. It's about 7 feet wide of travel width. It's 83 feet long, so it's a pretty long span across the creek. We're also putting in a viewing platform on the south side of the bridge, so a little bump out along the bridge pathway that will let people pause and look at the creek and just enjoy seeing the flowing water below them.
Other elements included in the second phase of the Arroyo Burro Creek Restoration Project are the formation of formal trails as well as the Campanile drainage system, which is a tributary of Arroyo Burro.
The formalized trail routes are going to be lower gradient, so we had some pretty steep sections of trail out here that were sources of some erosion issues. So we're looking to improve those, lower the slopes, improve them by providing some drainage features, so some water bars to direct drainage to proper areas so that we don't have erosion issues into the future. And it'll also be, safer for park visitors as they're coming through here. As far as the tributary drainage, that whole area was previously basically graded by BMX jump and bike tracks, and so we're looking to actually kind of take out some of that unnatural grading and restore the more natural hydrology of the creek up there.
Finally, one of the most critical parts of the restoration, the planting of thousands of native plants which are so important to the habitat and wildlife that live in the area.
Native plants being plants that originated here, are evolved and adapted to live in this environment. Not only are they better adapted to the conditions and environment of Santa Barbara, but they're also really important for the animals that are native to here as well. So all of our native birds, our native wildlife, they depend on those native species. They have co-evolved together to be dependent on them for shelter, for food, and so that's why it's really important to bring back those species. So we're planting about 2,600 native plants out here. Some of that will be up in that tributary drainage area where we're trying to restore more wetland riparian species. We're also planting oak trees all throughout the property near our work areas. So we're kind of rerouting these trails, and we're trying to plant oak trees along the perimeter so that in the future there will be shade along the trails and improved park experience for park visitors, but also improved habitat for wildlife and animals out here.
The two-phase Arroyo Burro Open Space Restoration Project will be wrapping up in the next couple months, and the new bridge, trails, and new vegetation will be ready for all to come, enjoy, and experience nature. Head to the website santabarbaraca.gov/Arroyo Burro if you would like to learn more about the phases in the Arroyo Burro Open Space Restoration Project. And now we're going to take a dive below the surface to show you how Operation Clean Sweep is clearing the harbor sea floor of debris. The Waterfront Department typically organizes an annual event to clear the seafloor in the harbor of debris. This year, the program left the marina and neighboring West Beach clean and sparkling for the visitors, wildlife, and residents that frequent the area.
Today we're doing our Harbor Operations Clean Sweep. We have been doing this now for about 15 years. We've completely circumnavigated the entire harbor, and now we're starting over again, and it's part of our Clean Marina program. We are one of the only harbors in the coast of California that has 2 certifications in clean marinas.
The goal of Operation Clean Sweep is to find, collect, and dispose of debris left in the marina.
So the bottom in a working harbor can get cluttered with all sorts of stuff, litter, stuff that accidentally goes overboard.
And you won't believe some of the stuff they find.
We got a skiff. So we're finding all kinds of great things today. And in the past, we found refrigerators, toilets, televisions, all kinds of debris. And folks don't see it normally, like a parking lot, because it's down on the ocean floor. But we do get to different areas of the harbor throughout the years.
The toilet was the kicker. That one takes the cake. All that stuff can end up in the water and can leach things that you don't want in the water. And it also provides a hazard for navigation, so people can get hung up on it too. So especially during times when it's super low tide. So there's a number of reasons we'd like to get rid of it. Just like you have litter out on land, we want to get rid of it off the seafloor.
Operation Clean Sweep is a team effort. Divers find debris on the marina floor and bring it up to the surface for other volunteers to dispose of properly.
It's a great community event with approximately 40 volunteers for topside work, and then we have about 12 divers bringing up debris from the bottom.
We had people from NOAA, we had people from the Power Squadron, and of course we have a lot of diver volunteers. So they're coming out on their off day and helping out a lot, and it's tremendous to have them in the water because they know the conditions here and they're comfortable in the water around docks, because as soon as they start kicking up stuff, they're pretty much dealing in a zero visibility environment. So that's pretty tough to work in. It's not your average recreational diver that's used to doing that, so it's nice having that expertise.
This is actually my first time, yeah. So usually they get a lot of people doing it, and this year I figured I'd throw a hand in and give them a help. Sometimes it can be a little tricky because the water does get clouded up real quick, so you gotta, when you're going after something small, you gotta hopefully get it on your first little jump down.
Not only can debris be hazardous for boat navigation, but it can be harmful to sea life as well.
We do on occasion have a marine battery which has acid in it, so that stuff you don't want leaking into the harbor. We do have a pretty healthy marine environment in here, which they found out today, where a lot of this stuff that's coming up will have crabs or octopus in it. We've already had a couple of those in there, and that's kind of a neat little added benefit, so people get to see the sea life that's here, and we want to keep that water as clean as we can.
Keeping the marine environment healthy is a top priority, and being able to see wildlife firsthand makes the event fun and educational for its volunteers. The Waterfront Department knows how important the program is and wanted to further expand it. So they reached out to the Environmental Services and Creeks Divisions to coordinate a neighborhood and beach cleanup on the day of the Operation Clean Sweep event.
So this year what we're doing on the waterfront, it's a different type of neighborhood, but a neighborhood nonetheless, right? So we're going to provide an opportunity for the slip permittees to dispose of bulky waste and e-waste as well. Those items include things like propellers, engines, bicycles, barbecues, small furniture, mattresses, and then of course e-waste would be things like computers, appliances, anything with a cord. We're excited to provide this because those items could possibly end up at the bottom of the seafloor, and of course nobody wants that.
Today I'm here at West Beach hosting a cleanup as part of the Harbor's Operation Clean Sweep event. This is our first time participating in the Clean Sweep event, so we're excited to partner with the harbor and the waterfront. We've had about 10 volunteers so far, and they've found some interesting stuff, some stuff that we expected, like cigarette butts, bottle caps, lots of small plastic items. Also some things like a bunch of metallic confetti. So somebody had a celebration and don't think that the confetti is made of plastic, but it makes a giant mess. So it's important to keep the beaches clean. One, just for aesthetics. We don't want our beaches to look trashed, but also small plastic items in particular, birds and animals can mistake for food, and plastics just persist in the environment for so long and pollute the water.
Thanks to the Waterfront Department, Environmental Services, the Creeks Division, and most importantly the volunteers, for making the harbor and its neighboring beach clean and inviting to everyone that loves Santa Barbara's waterfront. If you would like to learn more about Operation Clean Sweep, head to our website, santabarbaraca.gov/cleansweep. Well, that does it for this episode of Inside Santa Barbara. If you have questions or comments on the show, give City TV a call at 564-5311. Not to worry if you missed anything, you can watch us online at santabarbaraca.gov. I'm your host, Kalman, and remember, get involved inside Santa Barbara.